What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with some news regarding the future of Destiny and a pretty big move that Bungie is making by introducing the Eververse Trading Company, which is technically microtransactions they are going to be bringing into Destiny. If you guys remember a while back when they were going over the crap with the collector's edition and Bungie decided they were going to do, the whole, for 20 bucks you can buy 3 dance emotes or whatever it was, back when there was the whole uproar about the collector's edition, I mentioned several times that was going to be a lead-in for how they were going to try to introduce microtransactions into the game, and it now appears that is going to be the case. Now, Tuesday, October 13th, this will be unveiled. Tess will return to the tower in her normal spot with a new look and storefront, and she'll have some new items to sell. She's going to start off with 18 brand new emotes. Bungie claims these will not impact the game in any way. It's completely optional. It's a cosmetic item. In order to acquire the items from Tess, you will need to find silver, which is going to be a new in-game currency that will be available for purchase through a store associated with the console you play on. And pricing information is going to be available on Tuesday, October 13th, which is next week. So we'll find out more about the pricing structure of the silver. And I'll have some comments on that here in a second. Bungie claims if you're not interested in what Tess has to offer, you will not be forced to buy any of her items. You'll still receive updates to the game, and you won't lose Crucible or PvE encounters because you didn't have the right trading company emote equipped, which is interesting. They say their plan is to use new items to bolster service provided by the live team for another full year as they grow and create more robust and engaging events that they'll announce later in the year for the game. They did say they are going to let people have some free silver with their accounts so you can try out the trading company, so you'll probably be able to buy a few things. And that's pretty much it for Bungie's, what they had to say with it. Now, Kotaku came out with a separate article, and they did say in that article that Bungie is apparently going to be using the money they get from these microtransactions to further improve Destiny and to bring us free content updates throughout the year instead of doing paid DLCs. Now, none of that was confirmed when Kotaku tried to confirm that with Activision. They did not give them a direct answer on that, so, take that with a grain of salt. Who knows if that'll actually happen? Although Bungie did say, they're going to be trying to use those in their own update. They said they would be trying to use those to help, kind of bolster what's going on with the game. So I'm sure everyone has an opinion on this. Right now, a lot of the feedback has been negative because a lot of people are just straight up opposed to microtransactions. I'm normally one of those people, but I'm trying to come at this a little bit more objectively than just launching into an all-out rage like I'm seeing a lot of people doing. But there's also a very negative side of this that could eventually happen. Now, you guys know I do play a lot of Mass Effect 3, and Mass Effect 3 has microtransactions in it at the store for the multiplayer section of the game. I never really thought that was a big deal with Mass Effect 3 because you can buy packs there. It's the same packs you buy with in-game currency that you can get very easily just by playing the multiplayer. And also, Mass Effect 3 is a co-op game, so you're not really getting any advantage over anybody by buying any of those packs because everybody's on the same team working together. They're just there if you want to try to speed up your progress in terms of acquiring items and other things, but as I've said many times with Mass Effect 3, it really isn't needed because you can get a lot of in-game credits by just playing the game normally, which you can then use to buy packs, but it's there if people want to speed up their sort of progression in terms of their items they acquire. Now, however, there is another game that does something similar, which is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And we know that is run by Activision as well, and that they brought in those supply drops, which unfortunately do provide you with some elite variants of certain weapons in the game. Certain weapons that can be very good in PvP and very overpowered in PvP, which in a way is almost a pay-to-win system. It's not directly pay to win, but it is, giving some players an advantage when they're able to get one of those drops out of one of those supply packs. Now, of course, it is all in RNG, which is what we see in Destiny as well with the loot system. But the biggest problem I have with this, now, right now, like I said, this is purely cosmetic items. You're not required to buy these to play any part of the game. You're not going to have to purchase these if you don't want to. But the biggest problem I have is this opens the door for a whole lot more. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just going to be cosmetic stuff, and we don't know this and that. But I go on a track record. Based on track record of what I see with these companies, based on track record of what I've seen with Bungie, with how they've handled Destiny so far, and especially based on Activision's overall track record in gaming. People that are saying, oh, Activision would never use this to, make it pay to win. Activision would never use this to sell gear. are completely naive and obviously don't know Activision's history. Activision is one of the greediest publishers out there today, and if they can make a quick dollar off their players, they will do whatever they can to do that. It would not surprise me in the least if we start off with these cosmetic items. Eventually, they'll probably add in ships and sparrow skins and all this other stuff. It would not surprise me in the least, though, if Activision started to sell actual items that would help you in game. Like you can buy glimmer boosts, you can buy, experience boost, you can buy new guns or get random engrams for, 50 silver or whatever. That is my number one concern with this. And I think that's something a lot of people should also be concerned with, as I said, given that this is Activision putting this practice into place. But as of right now, I think we should just wait and see what happens. It's nothing to rage about, as this is just cosmetic items. However, it's going to be really interesting to see what they unveil for the pricing structure, because if you guys remember that collector's edition pack, it gave you 3 new class items and it gave you 3 emotes, and it was $20. So that's a pretty high price to pay for an emote. And I imagine that this new structure with the silver is going to be something very similar in price. So if you're looking at 18 new emotes, I'd imagine they're going to probably cost like $3 or $4 a piece, which I have no interest in purchasing. I don't have any interest in spending any more real money on Destiny. Unfortunately, I know there's probably a ton of people that are going to, and like I said, when they initially did that collector's edition separate pack, they were testing the market to see exactly how much attention they would get with it and see how much money they would make off of it. And apparently enough people purchased it that it kind of went ahead and they decided, okay, we can go ahead with the microtransactions, which, as I told you guys a long time ago, was in the contract between Bungie and Activision, and that I pretty much predicted we'd eventually see this moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, if Activision can keep from being too greedy and deciding to put actual in-game items like armor and weapons and things and engrams in these, in this Eververse Trading Company, like they've done with Call of Duty with the supply drop packs. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can stay away from this. And also for a game like Destiny, which has made an absolute buttload of money, microtransactions really aren't needed in this type of game. And my other concern too, Bungie says they'll be using this money, apparently they told Kotaku's reporting they're going to use this money to give us free content and more content instead of paid DLC. In my opinion, the DLC content in this game has been some of the most lackluster DLC content we've ever had in video games. I mean, you pay $40 for the Taken King, and you barely get enough content to last you 2 to 3 weeks, and then you're already bored again. Dark Below and House of Wolves for $20 a piece were both very, very lackluster DLCs with very little replay value. And if Bungie's going to now be using money from microtransactions to give us supposedly free content, how hard are they actually going to be working on this content? How meaningful and replayable is this content going to be? So that's another thing I would advise, is just be skeptical. I hate to say that, but this is Activision again, and we've seen Activision's track record. They will take advantage of whatever they can when it comes to their players of the game. So be skeptical, but right now, no need to really rage since it's just cosmetic stuff. And I know people probably expected me to come out and be all upset about it, but like I said, I have no reason to purchase cosmetic items in Destiny. I have no reason to spend any more money on this game so far. And be having a video coming out later this week where I'm actually going to be talking about that in specific with Destiny, is whether or not I'm actually going to continue to even play and cover this game. But a couple more videos coming out. I'll have that one, and actually before that, I'm going to have a video coming out of my top 5 biggest problems with the Taken King, and then I'm going to start getting into other things. Thankfully, the move is finished. I'm getting settled in my new place. We're getting everything set up, getting all the new gaming systems put in place, and the computer and everything. So hopefully, I'll be able to get back to making videos on a more regular schedule now. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to talk about this because when I saw Destiny was putting microtransactions in, I felt it was something I had to comment on. So let me know what you guys think down below about this, and I'd love to see what your comments and opinions are on it. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope everybody is having a great day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.